So when I was 24, I lived and worked in Indonesia, one of the most profound experiences of my life. On one evening, which was any ordinary day, a neighbour came over and said, "Rosie, let's go. Ernie's in labour." So I left our home, walked along the road to Ernie's house, went into her front garden and kind of had to tread my way carefully through all the men and boys that were sprawled around keeping a husband Octo company. And I went into her home. Things were being set up for Ernie, whose labour was in the early stages. She lived in a pretty typical home in that area made out of the traditional lontar palm. So the spines of the leaves made up the walls of the home, and the roof was made of lontar palms. It was beautifully kept and well swept, packed soil floor, and this gorgeous hand-woven pandanus mat lay on the floor. There was a kerosene lamp that had been lit to light the room. There's no electricity, and still today, if I smell kerosene, it really takes me back to that time in my life and to that place in Indonesia. So Ernie was in labour for a couple of hours. There'd also been a rope that had been hung from the exposed beam, and that rope was for her to grab hold of in those really strong contractions as she squatted down to bear that pain and pressure. And after a couple of short hours, a beautiful little baby boy was born. There was a traditional midwife that was there to catch Leroy, as he was then named, in her hands. And it was an incredibly profound experience for me. Profound also because Leroy was also named after me. The Roy comes from Rosie. He's now this beautiful, gorgeous young man. It's profound to me also because as I've understood more, the risks actually that Ernie and Leroy faced were immense in that time. We know that so many newborn babies and mothers giving birth, one of the highest causes of death are infections. We also know that key to preventing those infections are water, sanitation and hygiene. And of course, with all of the care that had been taken for Ernie, there wasn't a tap inside the room and soap for the midwife to be washing her hands or for the other people in the room. So in many ways, it was incredibly lucky that it was such a beautiful outcome of that moment. And a lot of the experiences I had during that time took me on the path to where I am today as a big champion for gender equality and for water, sanitation and hygiene, such basic human rights that we should all have.